Welcome back to Trashback Builds. We're doing another Gaslands conversion. This is a Corgi Heinkel. It's a bubble car. Really like this one. Little three-wheeler. Looking at it though, it really confused me because it feels like the middle wheel, it should go like this way. It should drive that way. But the steering wheel's at the other end. Very confusing. Anyway, I say conversion, we're not really doing much of a conversion, it's more just a simple paint job today. Just going to crack it open, see what we're working with. Really like this. Quite nice. But this is kind of fun, this sort of strange kind of plasticky, it's just a thin bit of plastic. I'm not sure how well the paint will take to it, but we'll see how it goes. Also, as I was dremeling out the bit underneath to open it up, the tyres split. Probably because it's so old, which is a bit annoying. So, came up with this idea. Perhaps if I just flood the gaps with super glue, squeeze them together as best as I can, and when it comes to painting them, if I just slop on the paint real thick, it might fill them in a bit. As you can see there, it's fixed it a little bit, pushing them together with the super glue. I went really heavy with it. And we'll just see how that goes. Here we are, just slapping on the paint, nice and thick, trying to sort of fill those gaps in a little bit with it. And also, once it's painted, hopefully it should just cover it up. Also painted the seats, and the paint took to it real nice. The primer was lovely, no issues at all. Though, as you'll see later on, it won't really have mattered, but no spoilers. Yeah, the wheel just fits in nicely like that. It looks pretty good. Anyway, I decided to strip this one with some acetone. Just to get a bit of a better thing to start with. Couldn't get this inside paint off though, it was on real tough no matter what I did. So we'll just have to paint over it, it won't matter too much. So let's prime. And we've primed. So first of all, I'm going to hit it with this lovely purple. I'm going to go for a sort of synthwave-esque inspired paint job here. Do a bit of a gradient. Try to make it look a little bit more sci-fi. I feel like the shape of the car, the kind of almost retro-futurism kind of really lends itself to this sort of paint job. So now we're going to hit it with a lighter purple from the front and just try and catch maybe about halfway. Catch it a little bit on the ceiling, a little bit on the sides. Just get a nice little fade going. Lovely. Then I decided, why don't we hit it with this lovely blue. This is Temple Guard blue from Citadel. Really like this colour. That's looking quite nice. Again, just sort of spraying from the front, trying to catch the top and some of the sides of the doors and some of the side panels. Lovely. And you know what? I really like how this has come out. And speaking of liking things, do remember to like, share and subscribe if you're enjoying this content, etc, etc, etc. You don't have to hit the bell, I don't expect you to do that. Who does that? Anyway, moving on. Going to hit the front with a, I'm just going to add a bit of white to the blue and hit the front with it just to line it up a little bit. Again, add a bit more of a fade. I am just pumping my old airbrush. Right, we're going to hit the tyre, or the rims, not the tyres, with some yellow just to break up that colour a little bit, add a bit of an accent colour. I also I painted the hubcaps white first, otherwise it would have taken a million coats to get that yellow on there, but thankfully it only took 3. And lucky for you, I only recorded the 1. Doesn't really matter at this stage about getting it on the tyre, don't have to be too neat. My whole thing is get the colour down and then try and do the tidy up afterwards. This wheel was a bit of a nightmare, but I hadn't super glued them down yet, so I was able to rotate it like so. And it made it slightly easier. And any of the overspill will tidy up afterwards, like I said. Now, speaking of accent colours, decided to get quite brave here and do all of the inside of the windows with this yellow. Again, just to break it up, give it a kind of synth-wavy esque kind of feel. Channeling my inner Heresy for Heretics with this one. Just using the side of the brush so that I don't overspill anything. Loaded my paintbrush up. Quite thick with the paint. I watered it down just a touch to get it to flow a little bit better, but on the whole it's nearly straight out of the tub with a tiny bit of water. And again, just using the side of the brush here, and just gently tickling around the edges. It's looking quite nice already. I think the yellow really breaks it up a little bit. Almost acts as sort of like an edge highlight, but we're not actually highlighting anything. Same kind of technique though. Just going to do this last back window. Just being extra careful not to get any overspill, because that would be a nightmare to try and fix afterwards. Now I'm going to do this little, what I think it's some kind of headlight at the front here. And this little digit, it looks like a 7, couldn't quite tell. Could be a 7, could just be a logo. I'm going to be very careful with this. Desperately try not to get any on the blue. Then I'm going to use a gold, this is Retributor Gold from GW. I'm going to do this front panel here. Kind of partial to purple and gold myself. Again, just being very careful. I watered this down a touch again, but I'm still keeping it quite thick. Then we're going to do the bumper. Like so. How's everybody's week going, by the way? You good? Nice, good to hear. Glad to hear it. Now we're going to do this rear bumper. Just really taking our time with it. Lovely. Starting off with the hardest parts, a bit closest to the edge, or closest to the body, I guess. And then we're going to work our way out so that it gets progressively easier as we go. It's looking quite nice, quite neat, quite tidy, if I do say so myself. Also did those headlights yellow. Forgot to get that on film. Then these little vents, they look like little vents. I'm going to do those gold. And they're those things that look kind of like bolts right here. There's one at the top left over there. I'm going to hit them a gold as well. Again, just to break it up a bit. Nice. Real nice. Just going to touch that bumper up again. Give it another coat. Now, so for this bit, I attempted to use, it was a speed paint, a pink speed paint. I attempted to use a brush. It looked awful, so I went back over it with my airbrush and it was fine. However, something happened to that footage and I ended up losing it. It was all corrupt and not good. So this is all I have. But I didn't end up doing this. I did use my airbrush. So that's that. I don't really have the footage of me airbrushing it, so I'm going to leave it here and leave you with a reveal instead.
Yeah.
Not too sure about this one personally. I mean, it came out okay, but tell me, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Again, it's not the most Gaslands build it could have been. It's more of a repaint. But anyway, if you do like, remember to share, remember to subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next week. Bye!